Hello, welcome back. My name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can give winning high-stakes speeches, whether it's for a job interview, a business or a sales meeting, or even at a conference in front of a lot of people. And one more thing, my book should be published, and I use the word should because I'm self-publishing it, by end of September, and it's titled Winning Speech Moments. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I will go into it in more detail, hopefully by middle of August timeframe, so that you will get an understanding of what this book's about. But today I want to focus on a sales tip. And if you remember one of the past videos, I had mentioned the best way to learn about sales is not when somebody buys from you or doesn't buy from you, but when you are being sold. I believe that's the best way to learn. What are they doing? Because obviously, if you're buying something, you're going to a salesperson, provided you're not going to Costco or Amazon. What are they doing well? What are they not doing well? Are they selling you, or are you selling them? That's, I believe, is the best way to learn. One of the best ways to learn how to sell is to look how other people are trying to sell you. So I ran into this recently, and as I mentioned, it had to do with this SAT Prep Center. And my wife and I are obviously concerned as parents. We would like my son to attend a college, a good college, hopefully. So, schools don't really provide you the skills to do well in SAT, so you have to count on these SAT prep centers. Okay, so we went to one of them. They tested him. Then we had a meeting, and they said, look, your son did do well, and here are all the reasons, all the questions he didn't answer. And we have a program specifically designed for him that'll take about 100 some hours. And at the end of it, he'll be ready, and so and so. Of course, there are no real guarantees there. He'll score at most, I've read, can only go up by 50 points, if that much. I've noticed that when we did that with my daughter a while back, her score didn't improve at all, and we spent a lot of money. So again, I said, oh no, I said all those things are fine, but I said one thing you have no control over, and that is the level of commitment of my son. I said, my son, if he's not committed, all this stuff, the money and all that, that's not going to be an issue. But the main thing is we need results. And if he's not committed, no amount of your expertise is going to make him do well. Okay. And I said the best way to find that out is to have a trial, 2-week trial at a discounted rate, so that way we find out whether this is the right program for him. Let's see his commitment. Let's see if he's going to, for every hour he comes in, if he's going to put in additional 5 hours at home. If he's not going to do that, this isn't going to work for him at all. So I said there's a 1-to-5 ratio here that we need to see. I mean, I think kids who do well on SAT really put in close to 1,000 hours. I mean, at the end, hours make a difference, okay? People who keep practicing this test over and over again. It's not fun. Let me just tell you, SAT preparation is boring as hell. It's not fun. And the kids who enjoy that boring part end up scoring really well. You just can't show up for this test. These tests are totally different than what you learn in school. Okay, so that's where it ended. And then I reiterated to this woman who had a salesperson who had contacted me the same thing. I said, look, we like your program, but we need to see some commitment from my son. Until that, we can't move forward. Okay, so I thought that was the end of it. And lo and behold, a day later, in fact, I think it was the same day, I get an email from her boss, basically saying the same thing, like, your son didn't do well, he really needs help, and we have all these things. Look at all the people who have gotten the scholarship for the PSAT and all this, all that. And I wrote back, I replied to her with the same email. I mean, similar email. I said, listen, I appreciate you caring for my son. However, until we see some commitment, we can't move forward. You've answered all the questions. So-and-so person, salesperson, did an excellent job. And that's where we're at. Okay, and that's it. And I don't expect to hear back from. But here's the thing that I noticed, that as an amateur salesman, you'd never want to do. When somebody sends you an email saying, this, until we see the commitment, we can't move forward, that is the part that you don't control. They don't control that. Commitment is something that we're in charge of, right, as parents. For her to send an email, this is, I'm talking about salesperson's boss, to send an email saying, hey, your son didn't do well, and this and this and that. If you have any questions, let us know. Wrong approach. Never do that. Never do that. At this point, the decision has been made that we're not moving forward because that commitment is an issue that you don't control. The email that the salesperson's boss should have sent was, hey, Mr. Oza and Mrs. Oza, thank you for considering our SAT Prep Center. We understand that commitment is a very important. We have a proven track record of success. However, the one thing we don't control is the level of commitment outside the hours that your son puts into the center. That is only something you have a grip on and control. Until you see that, we agree that this program is not going to be, your son may not be ready. Until he's ready, we're here to help you. Something like that. I'm just kind of made that on the fly. That email would have been very impressive, and just thank me and my wife for coming there, and my son for that they're there to help us. But right now we understand where you are, and if anything changes, if you see the level of commitment, but keep in touch with us because we really think we can help your son. That email would have helped because you're not trying to convince me to change my mind, and you're not trying to convince me to change something that you have no control over. That email that this salesperson's boss sent was amateurish. You never sent that kind of an email trying to convince me that, hey, your son is in real dire straits. He needs help badly, but look how great we are. We have made so much progress. That might be fine, but that doesn't mean that my son is going to benefit. And that's where we come in, right? That's what we know. So to close this out, the main message is that when somebody has objected, and that objection is something you have no control over. First of all, it's very difficult when somebody raises an objection to change that person's mind, because what you're going to do is you're going to solidify their thinking. Don't go there. You just say, is there a way out here? If I put the word commitment, there's no way out there. There's a time issue. You don't control that. The person didn't realize it. They must have a standard script or what, that you go and try to scare the parents to come back, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work because, like I said, I'm making the sales videos. I got to pay attention to all these things. A lot of people, it may work, but I don't think it works with other people either. And you don't want to do that. When somebody raises an objection, find something else. And if the objection is so strong, then agree with that. Yes, we agree, and let's touch base after a month. See if that has changed. I agree that you're going to do it, so we're going to contact you after a month to see if after a month anything has changed. That is the way that person should have sent an email. Didn't do it. And now it tells me that they may not be good at selling. Maybe the program isn't any good. It reflects poorly on the program. It reflects poorly on the people. That why are they so pushing this program when they don't know anything about my son, whether he's committed, whether he practices, all that they have no way of knowing. They're just saying like, hey, come to this program. We have a program. Unless you come, nothing's going to happen. That's not true. So be very careful. When you're selling, when somebody raises an objection, be careful. Don't just tell them they're wrong. They're right. That's how they're thinking. You can't change their way of thinking. If that objection is so strong that there is no way around it, agree with it. Buy some time and come back again. Because that way at least you can then deflect that objection later on. But right now, don't. You essentially you have to basically punt at that point and say, okay, at this point, I'm not going to try to go pick up a first down. I'll just punt and wait till I get the ball back again and drive forward. That, to use a football analogy, that's how you should approach that type of situation. A lot of salespeople, it's now or never. That now or never attitude is very dangerous in sales. There is no such thing as now or never. Now or never is no longer working. It may have worked in the past. Today, customers have a lot of information. They have their needs. They have to be ready for now, not now or never. Are you ready now to make a decision? And if they're ready to make a decision now, you don't even have to sell hard. They'll just sell you why they're buying, okay? Let me know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or even criticism about this, as I'm always willing to get criticism. That's how these ideas get stronger and better. Thank you for watching, and good luck with your next sale.